In each of the first 3 videos we posted, I invited you to send in your questions and comments. You did, and so today it's time for some answers. I'm Bill Hobson, and this is the Giving Series. Hi, I'm Bill Hobson, and with us being in the very early stages of developing the Giving Series, it's really exciting to hear from you with thoughts and questions about what you've seen thus far. So today, I'm going to take some time to respond to the feedback you've sent and try to do so in a concise approach that tackles questions and answers in under 90 seconds each. Can it be done? Well, let's find out. Question number 1 comes from the Director of Children's Ministries of a church just outside of St. Louis. She wrote, "You mentioned making a concerted effort to reach out and thank the church's most consistent givers. And you mentioned a threshold of people who give at least 15 times a year. But that got me thinking. My family always tithes on the very first Sunday of the month for the whole month. So even if we give a special year-end gift on top of that, it only comes out to about 13 times a year. I'm not trying to split hairs at all, but I'm wondering, what is it that made you land on that 15 times a year figure?" Well, first, that's a fantastic question, and thank you for being a faithful giver to the Lord's work. My error in the 15 times a year threshold didn't take into account faithful monthly giving versus weekly or bi-weekly. So let's revise the guidance a little bit here and encourage churches to reach out and specifically thank those who are among the top 15% of givers from a frequency standpoint. Again, no one needs to know the amount being given. But if someone is faithful to the point where they fall into the top 15% of your church, they need to be personally thanked. And by the way, this wonderful lady from St. Louis went on to share the blessing she and her family received from a simple thank you note written by her pastor after they had helped with a community project. She closed her note with this: "And you are absolutely right. It makes a big difference as far as feeling like what we are giving is appreciated and that it makes an impact." I love that. Question number 2 comes from a pastor on staff of a large church with multiple live in-person and online live stream services, so timing and service flow are definitely a factor. He wrote, "We struggle with information over inspiration during our pastoral and giving moments. What should happen in the pastoral moment as it pertains to giving? Can you separate the how to give from the why to give in your service flow?" Well, here's my answer. Instead of separating the how and the why to give, why not always keep them together? But in proportion to what the congregation most needs to hear. In other words, if it takes you 30 seconds to cover all of the how to give avenues, texting to give, the web URL, the box in the back of the sanctuary, swing an envelope by the church office on Tuesday afternoons, whatever the options are. Let's say it takes 30 seconds to cover them. How about then a 2-to-1 ratio where the why to give, the inspiration, wins? So if it takes 30 seconds for the how, it takes 60 seconds for the why. Share an example of how the people of the church have made a difference for the kingdom through their giving. Always couple the how with the why. And by the way, if your services are so tightly programmed that an extra 60 seconds for inspiration is a bridge too far, then your service is too tightly programmed, period. Are you performing or are you worshiping? It's a fair question. Are you asking the Lord to speak through you? Well, then give him the time he deserves to inspire your people to worship through giving. Inspire them always. Question number 3. One writes, "How do you use belonging as part of the giving moment?" Our viewer writes, "I know a man who would empty his wallet and throw all of his cash in the plate when he visited our church. When I asked him why, he said, 'It makes me feel a part of things.' I think it's a huge mistake when churches say, 'Don't feel obligated to give if you're visiting. This is for our regulars.' Giving makes people feel like they belong, doesn't it?" Here's my answer. This is such a fantastic question. I have never understood why any church anywhere uses the "don't feel obligated" line during the giving moment. Of course they're not obligated, but in using that phrase, you're planting a negative thought in the minds of visitors who likely have never considered an obligation and probably raised additional questions for them, making them wonder if there are some things they are obligated to do other than silence their cell phones. So instead of that clumsy deactivation phrase, how about this instead? Here at First Baptist Presbyterian Methodist Melting Pot Congregation, we believe that giving to the Lord is an act of worship as important as singing and preaching. So if you choose to give today, please know that it will be used to support missionaries around the world, as well as the outreach we have in this community. We're glad to have you with us, whether you choose to give or not, but we wanted you to know the invitation is open to everyone to worship through giving. And the next time someone on your platform breaks out the "don't feel obligated" line, call the security team and test out those new tasers on them. I would love to hear from you as we continue the giving series in the days ahead. We're just getting started. So on any topic you would like to see addressed or any questions you have, please send them our way at thegivingseries@gmail.com. Whether you're a part of a church or a faith-based organization, our goal is to help better connect your ministry to those who support it. Thanks for watching.